Hello students, myself Sunil Pawar from New Catholic Mission High Secondary School welcomes you back for the new session of 12th class biology for chapter 3. Okay, as you know that we already finished two part of this chapter 3, that is the human reproduction, okay, in which we already learn. Actually, I think so you remember that we divided this chapter into three parts. The first part for the introduction and the explanation of the male and female reproductive system. Second part we discussed about the that is the gametogenesis, in which we discussed already about the spermatogenesis and oogenesis, right? And then we also talk about the menstrual cycle and its hormonal control. Clear? Now in this one we are going to discuss about the fertilization, implantation, okay, pregnancy, then parturition, that means delivery, and finally the lactation. So this much portion we are going to include in today's video session, right? As you know that this whole reproduction is actually divided into three parts. First one, that is pre-fertilizational event. Second is the fertilization, and third one, that is the post-fertilizational event. Okay, so in which near about the first two we already finished. Okay, and now today we are going to discuss about the fertilization and implantation in the human reproduction. Okay, so here we are going to move forward. So first of all we are going to discuss the fertilization. Okay, you know that fertilization means to fertilize. Okay, as you know that during the gametogenesis, okay, in male and female gonads, right? What is the male gonad? Correct, that is the testis. And what is the female gonad? It is the ovary. Clear? In testis, through the spermatogenesis, it produces sperms, which is haploid in nature, and in the female ovary it produces ovum, which is also haploid in nature. Okay, so when they get fuses, that is the fertilization. So due to fusion, the process who is responsible to restore the diploid condition of their parents is called as fertilization. Okay, so what you concluded? The fusion of the two opposite gamete and restoring of the parental genetic constitution, that is a double set or diploid set of chromosome. Okay, 23 brought by these two gametes, and again it restores the condition of 46 chromosome in the zygote. Okay, what is the first cell which produces during season? That is the zygote. Okay, so here this fertilization in human being can be discussed under the slides. Okay, so fertilization in human refers to the fusion of male and female gametes that facilitate the development of a new organism. And as you know that the development and the growth is begin with the first cell, that is called as zygote. Okay, and it is diploid in nature. Clear? So now it is a natural life process which is carried out by the fusion of both male and female gametes, and which results in the formation of a zygote. And in human, the process of fertilization takes place in the fallopian tube. Okay, as you all are well aware about this one, during the copulation, okay, male releases the this sperms, okay, along with this insemination in the female's body, that is the vagina, and then later this chromosome rushes towards the egg. Okay, and what is the location of the egg? Egg is released by the ovary, and it is waiting for the fertilization where in the fallopian tube. Clear? And here in the fallopian tube at a particular place, remember this question may be asked for 1 mark, not only in the 12th class but also in the NEET also, or on the other competitive exams too. What is the place of fertilization? Exactly, it is the ampullae and isthmus junction. Remember, if in some cases this junction is absent and ampullae is only there, then it is ampullae. Okay, and if these two options are given, ampullae and second is the ampullae and the isthmus junction, then surely it will be ampullae and isthmus junction. Clear? So on this place, sperm meets with the ovum, and it fertilizes and form the first zygote cell. Clear? So now what is the site of fertilization? That is the fallopian tube. And what is the exact location? That is the amphilis junction. Clear? Now during this process, semen comprising thousands of sperms are inseminated into the female vagina during this coitus, and the sperms move toward the uterus and reach the opening of the fallopian tube, and only a few sperm will succeed in reaching the opening of the fallopian tube. You know that millions of sperms releases in the female's vagina, but hardly hundreds to thousands will reaches to the fallopian at their destination. Clear? And the secondary oocyte releases from the mature Graafian follicles of the ovary and enters into the fallopian tube. That is called as ovulation. And basically you know that this takes place in the 12th to 14th day of the menstruation. Clear? In the menstruation cycle, where it is fertilized within 24 hours. That means here this egg is waiting for almost 24 hours, okay, and after which it is released from the ovary, okay, and it is ready. Now though surrounded by several sperm, the oocyte is fertilized by a single sperm. That means what? Even hundreds of sperm reaches to the ovum, but it is fertilized by only one sperm, and this process is well facilitated by this one thing. Clear? And during meiosis second, the sperm enters the secondary oocyte and completes the meiosis, and after this the secondary oocyte is known as the egg. You know that secondary oocyte divided by the second meiotic division, and in this one ovum is produces, and one more, that is the which thing, second polar body is produced. Now both sperm and egg can show their vitality only to a limited period. Sperm is alive for nearly 48 to 72 hours, okay, and in the female bodies or in the reproductive system, whereas the egg can fertilize for 24 hours before it is released, okay. So there is a different short period of this one thing. Now then here you know that why sperm is not loses its track from vagina to the fallopian tube, because it is because of the two hormones. Remember, one is fertilizing and second is anti-fertilizing, okay. One is secreted by the ovum and second is secreted by the sperm. So this fertilizing and anti-fertilizing hormones are responsible to meet them, okay. Now here we are going to discuss the steps of fertilization in this one thing, okay. You know that so many chemical and physical changes takes place during this one thing. So first of all we are going to discuss the acrosomal reaction, okay. I think so you know that when we discuss about the structure of the sperm, then we learn that a cone shaped structure is present at the apical part of the head, okay, and it was consisting which thing? Right, it is the Golgi bodies, okay. These Golgi bodies are basically responsible to secrete the proteolytic enzymes. Clear? So we will discuss that which enzymes will secrete by it, but basically it is what type in nature? It is proteolytic. That means it is responsible to digest the proteinous membrane of the egg, okay. So now what happened? In this acrosome of sperm undergoes acrosomal reaction and releases certain sperm lysins, okay. So what is the name of this enzyme? Lysine enzyme. It dissolves the egg envelope locally and make the path of the penetration of sperm, okay. As I told you, these lytic enzymes are responsible to dissolve the wall of the or the membrane of the egg, and it make a path to enter the sperm genetic material into the ovum, right. Now so this sperm lysins contain a lysing enzyme. Remember this name, that is the hyaluronidase, okay, hyaluronidase, and which dissolve the hyaluronic acids polymers in the intracellular spaces which hold the granulosa cells of corona radiata together. You know that two layers are there, one is corona radiata and second is zona pellucida, okay. So the thick wall or the deposition of the corona radiata is actually dissolved by this one thing, and corona penetrating enzyme, okay, it is responsible for dissolving the radiata and acrosine which dissolves the zona pellucida. So remember, this lysine enzyme is not a single enzyme, it consisting different type of enzyme which is responsible to dissolve separately this membrane, okay, and then it dissolves the zona pellucida. And due to the acrosomal reactions, the plasma membrane of the secondary oocyte and the sperm are fused together so that the contents of the sperm can enter, okay. So this is the penetration, and when the plasma membrane of the sperm binds with that of the secondary oocyte, the plasma membrane of the oocyte depolarizes and prevent the polysomy or the polyspermy, okay. So what is the meaning of polyspermy? Polyspermy, that means what? When more than one sperms will be able to penetrate and fertilize the egg, then this condition is called as polyspermy, and it is quite abnormal condition for the zygote formation, okay. So here this specific phenomenon is observed. Who is responsible for restricting the entry of the of more than one genetic material of the sperms, okay. Now, so the calcium ions play a significant role in the acrosomal reaction. The main factors essential for acrosome reactions are optimum pH, one thing that is the pH, second is the temperature, and third that is the calcium and magnesium concentration, who is responsible to penetrate this one thing, okay. You can see that this is the egg, okay, this is the egg cytoplasm, okay, this is the egg membrane in which you can see that this is a plasma membrane which consisting zona pellucida, and outside that is the zona, that is the corona radiata, okay. Here you can see that so many sperms are there, okay. Here you can see the activity of one sperm. This sperm gradually penetrated here only, okay, just by dissolving the corona radiata it reaches to the zona pellucida, and here by the lysine enzyme it is responsible to dissolve, okay. But before this one thing, a cone is formed, and this is called as fertilization cone, clear, in which what happened, the zona pellucida is get embossed out, okay, and here the sperm when added, then a bulbous structure, ampoule like structure is formed, that's why it is called as fertilization cone, okay. And when it dissolves the membrane of this one thing, then the nucleus of the sperm will enter at the same time. It is responsible for hardening this zona pellucida, who is responsible for the restriction of the further entry of the nucleus or the further penetration of the sperms, okay. So this is the cortical reaction. Soon after the fusion of the plasma membrane, the oocyte shows cortical reaction, okay. Cortical granules found under the plasma membrane of the oocyte which fuses with the plasma membrane and releases cortical enzymes between the zona pellucida and the plasma membrane, and the zona pellucida is hardened by the cortical enzyme that prevent the polyspermy. That means between this membrane and this zona pellucida, okay, this cortical reaction takes place. It is basically responsible for production of this cortical enzyme, who is responsible for deposition of this calcium and magnesium ions, which is responsible to make it harden in nature, and this hardening of the membrane is responsible for restricting the further entry of this one thing, clear. Now here the second one, that is the sperm entry, okay. The projection known, the cone of reception is formed by the secondary oocyte at the point of sperm contact, and this cone of reception receives the sperm. As I mentioned earlier, this cone is called as fertilization cone, clear. Now then here we come to discuss the next one, that is the karyogamy. What is the meaning of karyogamy? Karyon means nucleus and gamy means togetherness, okay. So karyogamy means what? What is the meaning here? The mixing or the fusion of the nucleus of the male and female gamete will consider the karyogamy here, okay. So now after the entry of the sperm, the suspended second meiotic division is completed by the secondary oocyte, and this gives rise to a haploid ovum and a second polar body, as we discussed earlier, okay. Now the head of the sperm containing the nucleus, that is the haploid nucleus, okay, detached from the entire sperm and is known as the male pronucleus, clear. And the tail end, the second polar body degenerates and the nucleus of the ovum is known as the female pronuclei. Okay, so the two pronucleus, one the female pronuclei and second is the male pronuclei. Clear? Now the male and female pronuclei fused and their nuclear membranes degenerated, and the fusion of the chromosome of the male and female gamete is called as the karyogamy, and the ovum is now fertilized and is known as the zygote. Okay, so this is the fertilization, that means finally the fusion of the male and female gamete. Okay, that is the fusion of the nucleus and restoring the condition of the diploid state of chromosomes. Okay, now next the action of the eggs. Okay, the entry of sperm is triggered the metabolism in the zygote, and the consequently protein synthesis and cellular respiration increases. Okay, as a result of fusion of these two nuclei, okay, immediately boosting of, or what do you say, the triggering of the which one thing, the metabolic activities along with the increased rate of the protein synthesis as well as cellular respiration is increases here. Okay, now one zygote will form, then it undergoes in the process of division, and the process of division is called as cleavage. Okay, so here what you observe, the cleavage is the mitotic division. Now there is no meiotic division, only and only mitotic division will observe in the process of further development. Okay, so this mitotic division which starts as the zygote move through the isthmus of the oviduct toward the uterus and form 2, 4, 8, 16 daughter cell stage, that is called as the blastomeres. Okay, then the embryo with 8 to 16 blastomere is called as a morula. Remember this stages. Okay, so one cell stage is called as zygote, 8 to 16 cell stage is called as morula, and this is just a solid mass. Clear? Now then the morula divides further as the move further into the uterus and transform into the blastocyst. Okay, so this morula will further develop and it will turns into the blastula. What is the basic difference between the morula and blastula? Blastula is consisting a cavity, okay, that is called as the blastocyst. Okay, inside there is a cavity, it is called as the blastocyst. Clear? Now the blastomeres, the small segments or the cellular structures which consisting by the blastula is called as blastomeres. Okay, so in the blastocysts are arranged in an outer layer, that is called as trophoblast, and the inner mass of the cell attached to the trophoblast is called as the inner cell mass. Okay, so now this blastula is having two layers, the outer and the inner. Okay, the outer layer is called as blastoplast and the inner is called as the mass of the cell. Clear? Now this trophoblast layer then gets attached to the endometrium of the, you know that there are three layers of the uterus, the endometrium and the perimetrium, and in between there is something mesometrium also there. The blastocyst, hence blastocyst become the embedded in the endometrium of the uterus, and the process called as implantation. What is the meaning of implantation? The fixing of this blastocyst or this blastula in the membrane of the uterus. Here you can see that this cleavage process. Okay, this zygote of one cell structure is divided and turns into two cell structure. Which division? Mitotic division. Then it will form 4 cell by the next mitotic division. It is followed by the next division, that is the 8 cell stage. Then an anticlinally division is there, morula is formed. Then finally the blastocytes. You can see that the difference between these two, the morula and the blastocyst. Here is the cavity which is called as the blastocele. Okay, it is responsible to form the outer layer and the inner layer, which will finally turns into the 3 layer structure, ecto, meso and endoderm in the further development. Clear? Now then here we come to discuss the sex determination. As you know that the fixing of the particular sex or the gender in the fetus or in the embryo, that is called as sex determination. Clear? And this sex determination is the process actually which is determined by the genetic combination, that means the chromosomes. Okay, as you know that there are two type of chromosome, one is autosomes and second is heterosomes, okay, right. These heterosomes are also called as sex chromosome, clear. So these sex chromosomes are basically similar, homozygous in the female while it is heterozygous in the male, okay. Male consisting a pair of sex chromosome in which one chromosome is X and one chromosome is Y, okay. So you know that during the meiotic division or during the spermatogenesis, whatever the number of sperm is produces, it will consisting half chromosome, that means 50% chromosome with X chromosome and 50% sperm with Y chromosome, clear. So there is no any kind of favor of the X or Y chromosome sperms, okay, nothing, it is just a matter of chance, clear, which sperm will fuses with the ovum, whether it is containing X chromosome or it is containing Y chromosome, clear. So if it contains X chromosome and it fuses with the ovum, then it will produces diploid structure which will further responsible to produce the female offspring, okay, the baby girl, okay. If sperm with Y chromosome will fuses with the ovum, then surely it will responsible to produce the male child, okay. So this is the sex determination, which, so who is responsible for this one? Right, that is the male one, because female throughout the oogenesis, okay, or throughout her life, she will always be responsible for producing the ovum with X chromosome, okay, while the male is responsible to produce two types of chromosome. So ultimately for the sex determination, male is responsible, not the female one, clear, okay. Now so here we are going to discuss the implantation. As you know that in the implantation, the fixing of the blastula is observed in the endometrial wall of the uterus, okay. You know that this is the wall of the uterus in which the outer one, the middle one and the innermost one, this innermost one is the endometrium, okay, where this blastocyst will use to fix there, okay. You know that this ovary during the ovulation is responsible to release the ovum. This ovum is releases and caught by this fallopian, this fimbriae of the this ovarian what do you call, that is the funnel, okay, and this one catch by this one, and here it is waiting, clear. Now and if the sperm will reaches here, what is the path of the sperm? From, that is the vagina to uterus and uterus to this oviduct, and finally it reaches to this ampulla and isthmus junction. Here it will fertilizes, clear. So on the first day you will find a single cell structure, clear. On the second day you will find a two cell structure. Then 3 to 4 days after the fertilization, it will turn into the 4 cell structure, okay, and then later on it will move over to the junction of the uterus and the fallopian duct. Here it will take nearly 4 days, okay. See that this is hardly 4 to 5 centimeter in length, but in the movement or in the movement from this ampullae isthmus junction to the junction of fallopian tube and this uterus, it took nearly 4 days, okay. And now once it entered into the uterus, then it will comes in contact with the endometrial villi, okay, and here when it reaches up to the 9th day, then it will finally fix with the endometrial wall of this uterus, and here this combination is called as implantation. So finally, what is the meaning of implantation? The fixing of that blastula, okay, in the endometrial wall of the uterus, that is called as implantation, okay. This one more diagram will make you more clear. Here you can see that the first day of the fertilization, a single cell structure, where you can see that this is the two pronuclei of the male and female, and this is the secondary polar body, clear. When this two will fuse it will consider the karyogamy and the formation of the zygote, clear. Now then the cleavage will start, okay, and it will responsible to divide the cells, clear. Now then up to the third is there is compaction, that means no differentiation, only a mass of the cell will produces, okay. Then it will start the differentiation. Differentiation means what? Becoming different in the fourth day, clear. And then the cavitation is formed, as you know that. Now this morula will turns into the blastula. It is responsible to form this cavity-like structure which is called as the blastocyst, okay. And here you can see that this is the outer layer and this is the inner mass, okay. This outer cells are considered trophoblastic cells, clear. Now then next one, in the sixth day of this one thing, the zona pellucida is finally hatched out, and the egg is, this one is coming out, and it will enter into the, you know that already, the fifth day of the fertilization it entered into the uterus. And here this uterine epithelium, what do you call? It is the endometrium. This is the fixation of this one thing, okay. And day 9, this cell masses differentiation is observed and is responsible to form this epiblast, hypoblast, and the inner one, that is the innermost cells, clear. Now finally here you can see that it will form a disc-like structure around it, okay, which is helpful for the fixing or the implantation is there, okay. So now here what do you observe? Till this one thing it is two-layered structure, the ectoderm and the endoderm, but now here this mesoderm is also developed, okay. And this endometrial, this villi are finally responsible to fix this gastrula into the endometrial wall of this uterus. So this is the formation of this amniotic sac, and later on it will enlarge, it will form the amniotic cavity which will fill it with the amniotic fluid, and this fluid will responsible for protecting it from any mechanical jerk, further friction, and it will protect it completely, okay. Now so here we are going to discuss the pregnancy and the embryonic development, okay. What is the pregnancy? This one is also termed as the gestation period, okay. As the growing embryo is implanted in the inner wall of the uterus, okay, then this process is called as implantation. Later on this embryo will turns into the fetus, okay, and this fetus will continue its growth in it, okay. So this period from fixation of this embryo to parturition, that means delivery, that is called as pregnancy, clear. And this one is also simple language, and it is also called as the gestation period, clear. What is the gestation period of human being? Right, it is 9 months 9 days, okay. Now so here the finger-like projections on trophoblasts after implantation is called the chronic villi, that along with the uterine wall form function between the developing embryo and the maternal body called placenta. So remember, what is the placenta? Placenta is actually the connecting link between the growing embryo and the mother's body, okay. Whatever the material which exchange with the embryo or that growing fetus, that is with the help of this vascularized, highly vascularized structure, that is called as the placenta, okay. Placenta is attached with the fetus with an umbilical cord that transported food and oxygen to the embryo, right. Now then the functions of the placenta, here we can see that. So not only the vascularization, okay, not only the connection, but it is also responsible for secretion. It also works as the endocrine gland too, clear. So the placenta facilitates the supply of oxygen and nutrient to the embryo. It helps in the removal of carbon dioxide and excretory waste material produced by the embryo, because embryo is just considered the extension of the mother's body, clear, where it will perform all the metabolic processes, clear. In this, the placenta is connected to the embryo through the umbilical cord, which helps in the transport of substances from the embryo. And not only this one thing, it also acts as the endocrine tissue, and it produces some hormones like human chorionic gonadotrophic hormone, that is the HCG. Remember this one, it may be asked for 1 mark question in the final exam, okay. HCG. What is the HCG? Human chorionic gonadotropin hormone. Second one, that is the HPL, human placental lactogen. Then the estrogens, progesterone, these all are very common one. And remember, this hormone is only and only produces during the pregnancy, and the availability of this hormone in the, or the traces of this hormone in the urine can be used to confirm the pregnancy. Okay. Now a hormone called relaxin, which is actually secreted in the latter phase of the pregnancy, which is responsible for relaxing the joints of the pelvic girdle, okay, and which helps in the parturition, that means the release of the baby. Clear? Now this HCG, HPL, relaxin, these are only produced during the pregnancy, and the levels of the other hormone also, like the estrogens, progesterone, cortisol, prolactin, thyroxine, these all are increases so manifold, okay, in the mother's body during the pregnancy. Okay. So later on, even in some cases after the delivery, it may cause somewhat hormonal disbalance too. Okay. And the increased production of all this hormone is essential for supporting the fetal growth and the metabolic changes in the mother and the maintenance of the pregnancy. Remember this one thing. Clear? Now, so we are going to discuss the length of the pregnancy. As I told you, it is 9 months, 9 days. But just to facilitate the study of this pregnancy, it is actually divided into 3 trimesters. The 3 laps of 3 months. Okay. So here it may be actually, what is the duration of the pregnancy? 36 weeks and the 3/7 week. Okay, 36 and 3/7 weeks. Okay, that means 36 weeks and 3 days. It is a complete pregnancy. Okay, that means simply we can say that the 40 weeks of the pregnancy. Clear? Or simply you call 9 months 9 days. Clear? Here this trimester is consisting 12 to 3 weeks per trimester. Okay, so here the first trimester from 0 to 13 weeks, the second trimester from 14 to 27 weeks, okay, and the third trimester from 28 to 7 weeks. So here we are going to discuss what are the changes is observed in this 3 trimester. Okay, so if you observe the first trimester, so first of all placenta begins to form, then the brain and the spinal cord begins to form, then the tissue that will form the heart begin to beat. Okay, and the heartbeat can be detected with the ultrasound at about 6 weeks of pregnancy. Actually, at the end of the 1 month, nearly this heart will start to form, and even at the end of nearly 1.5 months, we can consider the heartbeat even by the stethoscope also. Okay, the buds for limbs appears with the paddle like hands and feet. Okay, so the bud will start, you can also call them the stem cells too. Okay, now the eyes, ears and the nose begin to develop, eyelids form but remains closed. Okay, after formation, these eyes may remain closed for a long period of time. The genitals begin to develop, okay, the male or female, and by the end of the 8th week, all major organs and the body system have begun to develop. That means nearly almost all organ with started. But what is the first organ who developed? Right, it is the heart. Okay. Now, if you are taking the second trimester, 9 to 12 weeks of the second trimester, now the buds for future teeth will appear. That means the construction of the base for the teeth will started. Now the fingers and the toes start to form and the soft nails begin to form. Bones and muscles begin to grow. The intestines begin to form. The backbone is soft and can flex. Okay, and the skin is thin and transparent in nature. And the hands are more developed than the feet, and the arms are longer than the legs. That means this is the first beginning where you can see that the length of the hands is quite longer than the legs. Okay, and it is now body is covered with the transparent skin. The internal organs can be seen by this one. Okay, now then here the next change is between 13 to 16 weeks of the pregnancy. Arms and legs can flex, that may be extended. The external sex organs are firm, that means the scrotal sac if in the male, okay, then the clitoris and this one in the female can be seen. The outer ear begins to develop and the fetus can swallow and hear, okay, so it can start to respond. The neck is firm and the kidneys and functioning and begin to produce the urine, that means the excretory substance, nitrogenous excretory substance start to excrete out from the body. Now the changes can be seen in the 7 to 20 years. The sucking reflex develop, that means it is able to suck, okay. If the hand floats to the mouth, the fetus may suck his or her thumb, clear. So even during the pregnancy that baby can suck the thumb, okay. The skin is wrinkled and the body is covered with a waxy coating and the fine hairs will start to grow, okay. So remember this waxy coating is called as vernix and this fine hairs, the coating of fine hairs is called as lango, okay. Remember this term. The fetus is more active, you may be able to feel him or her movement. The fetus sleeps and wakes regularly, start to sleep and awakening, okay. And the nails grow to the tips of the fingers. The gallbladder begins producing bile juice which is needed to digest the nutrients. And in female fetuses, the eggs have formed in the ovaries, and in the male fetuses, the testes have begun to descend. As you know that the oogenesis started in the mother's womb even, okay. It may be possible to tell the sex of the fetus on an ultrasound examination in the week of 17 to 20th, clear, because external sex organ will start to form, okay. Now then the changes during the 21st to 24 weeks, the fetus may hiccups, okay. The brain is rapidly developing, the tear ducts are developing, that means can secrete the tears, the finger and toe prints can be seen, okay, and the lungs are fully formed but not yet ready to function outside the uterus, that means they are in the primary stage, clear. What are the changes which we will observe in the 25 to 28 weeks of pregnancy? The eyes can open and close and sense changes in light, that means if the bright light outside the womb, then that baby will close his or her eyes and respond the light. The fetus kicks and the stretches, okay. The kicking of the on the womb can be observed. The fetus can make grasping motions and respond to sound, okay. The soothing sound and the harsh sound can be responded by this baby which is growing. The lung cells begin to make a substance that will enable breathing, but it will start working after the delivering. Now in 29 to 30 weeks of the pregnancy, its major development finish and the fetus given weight very quickly. Now the organs will completely develop and start to gain the weight. The bones harden but the skull remains soft and flexible for delivery, okay. So that's why these membranes are, the bones are the membranous bones, okay, which is quite soft and flexible in nature. So at the time of the delivery, from the small apertures they can comes out, clear. The different regions of the brain continues to form, the hair on the head start to grow and the lango begins to disappear. What is this one thing? The hair coating of the body start to disappear. In the 29 to 30 weeks of pregnancy, the major development finish, the fetus weight quickly, okay, and we learn this one. And finally in the 37 to 40 weeks of pregnancy, the fetus drops lower into the pelvis because now it changes direction, okay. Till this one thing, its head is upward and the leg is downward, but now it turns its direction and its whole head goes to the pelvis. More fat accumulates especially around the elbows, knees and the shoulders. Under the skin, these fats will start to deposited, and because these are the projected portion of the fetus. So this deposition of the fats will help to come out from the mother's body. The fetus gains about half a pound per week, again during this last month of pregnancy, clear. And even due to early delivery, okay, or the immature delivery, clear, this baby can survive outside, clear. Now finally the parturition. Parturition means what? The delivering of the baby from the mother's body, that is called as parturition, or in simply you call the delivery. The average duration, you know that, what is the gestation period, what is the pregnancy, okay. The vigorous contraction of the uterus at the end of the pregnancy causes expulsion of the fetus, called as parturition, clear. Now the uterus will start to contract, okay, it will be responsible to force this one outside, and this one is called as the labor pain, okay. The signals for parturition originate from the fully developed fetus, and the placenta which induces mild uterine contraction is called as the fetal ejection reflex, okay. It is responsible to motivate this one, and the fetal ejection reflex releases oxytocin. This is the hormone which is also called as the parturition hormone, who is responsible to, it is actually releases from the pituitary gland, and it is responsible for the convulsions of the uterine muscles, okay, and which is responsible for releasing it out, clear. Now finally the lactation. Lactation means what? The release of the which one thing? Milk from the milk gland, the mammary gland, okay. You know that the mammary glands, okay, undergoes the differentiation during the pregnancy and start producing milk toward the end of the pregnancy by the process of called, that is the lactation, okay. It will continue up to the maturation or the next pregnancy, clear. The milk produced during the initial few days of lactation is called as colostrum. Remember this word colostrum, it is very important. This is the first milk which releases by the mother after the delivery. Remember this term, colostrum. This question was asked in your previous exams for 1 mark, especially in 12th one, clear. And it is compulsory to give to the baby because it is responsible for developing the immunity. It is responsible for, it is full of vitamins and resistance, okay. Now so it contains several antibodies essential to develop resistance for the newborns, okay. So now this all about the fertilization, implantation, delivery and the lactation, pregnancy and the lactation, clear. The portion which I was actually covered in this one, that is the development of the fetus or the embryo, okay. It is just, you may consider the additional part in a very short but compulsorily, you learn whatever the changes which observe in the mainly in the pregnancy, clear. So remember this thing, and I just try level my best, okay, to explain you this portion, that is the human reproduction, okay. And now it's your duty, the ball is in your court to learn, okay. Just keep revising again and again, okay. Just go through your NCERT book, okay. Learn each and every word which is given it, clear, and make your concept clear, because it will be very helpful to score in your final exams, clear, because most of the portion is actually coming from your NCERT books, more than 70% even, okay. So just learn this one thing and then try to solve the questions which is given in the form of the textbook exercise, okay. If you are unable to draw the proper solution of this one, then can take the help of which thing, that is right, NCERT solutions, okay. So wish you all the very best. Now we will meet in the next video. Till that, keep reading, keep revising. Thank you.